I just wanted to say, man, just go to the Sura River with Baitfish, because with that, you can complete the quests really well. And I believe, I have a catfish on the hook now. Oh dear, I think it really is a catfish on there, or a really big Zander. And that's what I'm actually looking for, after I was already able to complete the asp for the quests. I am, of course, now looking for a Zander. And possibly, it's a heavy Zander, or simply, indeed, a catfish. Because I just had a small catfish on here, and now, yeah, it's maybe putting a bit more into the drag, but I think I can still get it in. Yes, I can still get it in. Yes, I'm at the Sura, like I just said. At the Sura for the quests. We'll also take another look in a moment, at which quests you can complete here, with baitfish angling. And I'm using Roof as baitfish, because today, during the fishing competition on Friday, we're always out in the low-level waters, so that everyone can participate. And there, I caught some Roof as bait, or rather, caught them at the Windenbach, and processed them now as bait. And those, I'm using now, of course. And with that, you can then complete the quests really nicely here at the Sura. The asp already went in, and that was, right where the boats are, so, cast out directly from the jetty. That was cast out about 40 meters. The asp went in right there. And now we have to see. I think I'll go a little further down here. Here at this spot, I've cast out really far here, all the way to the 7-meter hole back there. And there, you can also fish for Zander very well with artificial lures. So, you do that, it works really, really well. That you just jig through there. Ideally, in the evening hours, or in the morning hours. On the Feyerabend TV YouTube channel, there are, of course, already videos about how to fish for Zander here. Yeah, I think it's slowly coming closer, but I think it's really going to be a catfish. I'll try to pull it a bit more, because it's so heavy. I mean, a Zander also makes itself heavy sometimes, sticking to the bottom, so to speak. It then lies heavily on the bottom, but once you've dislodged it, it doesn't make itself quite so heavy anymore. And I have a very, very, very big setup here. So, I'm out here with a very heavy setup. If you can't be out here with such a big setup, or don't have something like that, then you can, of course, also do it from another spot. I'll show you that on the map in a bit too. That, of course, also works excellently. But this spot here is also very, very, very risky. Because, if you get the wrong fish on there, then you might have to, well, log out, or you'll eventually get spooled. So, that can happen, of course. So, now let's take a quick look. Yes, that's it. There comes the catfish. You can already see the fin, the dorsal fin on top. Too bad. No Zander. So, let's pull this one in here now. Land it nicely here. And then we have the catfish. An 11 kilograms catfish. That one sold well. It fought well. Yeah, the other option for something like this would be that you then, over here, opposite. Now I have to look for a moment. So, first, a new bait on. Roof bait. And then out with it. Maximum distance. So, and the other possibility would then be, of course, that you position yourself here. You can go here by boat. You can also walk to about here, and then cast the baitfish into this area. But as I said, if you get the wrong fish on here, you can't walk any further. Then it will eventually pull you away with the current too. And that can, of course, be very, very dangerous. So, if you want to try this here, you should definitely have a decent drag, and, well, maybe also just enough line, that's for sure. And in the worst case, you simply have to reckon with perhaps just logging out and saying, okay, the fish defeated me. And then you just have to go back over with the boat, and continue testing. I'm continuing to test here right now, as I said, at this 7-meter hole, and so far, I'm quite satisfied. I started over here from the boat jetty, and right there, I also got the 5 kilograms asp, various Volga Zander, and now, here at this spot, the first small Zander. And now, of course, I'll continue, and hope for a big Zander here, because we still need that one. We'll also take another quick look here, into the quests, but first, I have to pull out this catfish here. And it's not that big, rather, it's probably also hanging around these edges. So, especially when they are in these deep holes, you first have to manage to pull the fish out of there, out of the hole. So, out of this 7-meter hole right now, back there, and then try to get it out of there first, and then it's usually much easier. And there it comes out already, the next small catfish. Yeah, that would almost be enough for me here as a Zander. That, of course, wouldn't be so bad. And especially the Zander, you naturally catch it much better, again, in the evening and, as I said, in the morning hours. Yes, this quest, I was just able to complete. So, this is Premium Quest 52. Catch an asp or a burbot with a minimum weight of 4.5 kilograms on the Volkhov or Sura rivers. Yeah, and with that, I've naturally completed it, with the roof. And this is the next quest. So, this is non-premium stage 62, catch a Zander, anyway, with a minimum weight of 4.5 kilograms on the Sura. So, that is definitely also realistic. And if this doesn't work out soon here with the Baitfish, then I'll put together my setup, namely, my spinning setup. We can already take a look at how I'll then go jigging for Zander if this doesn't work. And that is, I will assemble my setup roughly in this way, so, relatively thin, and of course, not too thick with the leader, because at night and in the evening hours, we are rather unlikely to encounter pike here. That is, of course, much more dangerous with baitfish angling, and that's why I'm also using relatively thick tackle there. Here now, as I said, only with 19 kilograms fluorocarbon. 19 kilograms monoline I will use then, a size 1 hook, and best, this provoker series here, that always works well, with silver lures, with white lures, but also try yellow lures sometimes. Such foam baits always work really well. And for the rig, it's best to experiment a bit. The jig rig is, of course, the simplest, but you can also do it very well, of course, with a kickback rig, with the drop shot rig, or, of course, with a Texas rig. And there it continues here. So, we already have the next one. Yes, now it's time to keep going here, and search, and hope that with the last baitfish, the Zander will eventually bite. That's nice, of course. That's nice. A tiny Volga Zander bites. I'll take it, of course, the Volga Zander card. And the card brings 80 silver. I won't redeem it yet, of course, but only when I eventually catch the Volga Zander as a trophy, and then I'll keep the trophy card, and the normal Volga Zander card, from this little one here, with 145 grams, that will just be discarded. Well, now it really seems to be starting here, in the evening hours. 7 p.m. Quickly cast out my last baits again. So, back into the 7-meter channel, into the 7-meter hole. And yeah, so far, Volga Zander, an insane number of Volga Zander. I'm happy to take those too, of course, because they are also worthwhile, silver-wise. So, this is how it looks right now, in the last 5 minutes. Practically every minute a bite. Every minute a bite. And that's how it is. These are now basically the last 4 baits I have, and after that, I actually have to go out, if I still want to get the Zander. Oh, or is that the Zander? But wait, wise, it could be close. Let's see if we can perhaps get the Zander in here now. That would be it. It doesn't feel too heavy. Could be. No, it's just a small catfish again. Yeah, maybe I should try somewhere else after all, namely, up here. The 7.5-meter hole is actually always a guarantee for Zander. Both with the jig rig, and also if you cast baitfish in here, it can also work well again and again. But I'm still quite satisfied, because I was able to complete my asp here from the jetty. And, here now, as I said, it doesn't look too bad so far. Now let's just see. Maybe something else will bite, and if not, then I'll just test the jig rig again in a moment. Ha! This is crazy. I was just thinking, every time I jiggled a bit, or several times when I pulled the line a little on the set-out rods, a bite came shortly after. And now, I just did an automatic retrieve on the last baitfish. So, reeled in slowly, at speed 1, with baitfish, and a bite. That's nice, of course. That's a beautiful Volga Zander. That is, of course, really nice. That means, I think there's still an active one on here too. Yes, exactly. That means I have the roof here now, and could now, just by reeling in very slowly. So, just reel it in like that, and then we have it in now. And it's just pulling through here slowly, and by reeling it in, kind of like fishing with an artificial lure, but with a baitfish, and it worked. Very cool. It was new to me that you can do that, but it seems to work. Not bad at all, Zach. And here too. Ha, very nice. Well, you see, after 14,000 hours in the game, still learned something new again. That's what RF4 is all about, isn't it? Isn't that awesome? Just go slow trolling nicely with Baitfish. Very good. So, come on here. And this one too, well, rather small. And the third one, I've just equipped with a frog, because I didn't have any more Baitfish. But I'll try that with the frog too. Can be a bit dangerous, of course, because catfish also like to bite on a frog, and something actually bites. And it is indeed a catfish. I'm going crazy, not even 30 seconds later. I get a catfish on here now, or what? Or is it a big Zander now? No, that'll be a catfish. That'll be a catfish. The setup isn't super strong now. Let's see how far we can crank up the drag. This is crazy. Now I already know what I'll be doing next on the Actuba, and how I'll be fishing for Catfish and company there soon. If this works so well here. But this one isn't really big. 15 kilogram, 20 kilograms maybe, so it can't really fight back much. And accordingly, I'm trying to just pull it out here now. Yes! Now it has already lost. Its head is above water, and now I can pull it slowly, nicely to the bank. Exactly, and then we'll have it there in a moment. Come on, a little bit more. Of course, it doesn't want to. So, 27 kilograms. That wasn't bad. On a frog. Just fished with a frog. Not bad. At this point, I'll make a cut for now. Learn something nice and new. That's really. I will now head to the boat shortly, and continue trying to get the Zander out there with the jig rig. If this helped you, leave a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Helps me out a ton. And then, we'll see each other in the next video. Until then, tight lines.